All right. Dolphins visiting the Niners. Dolphins look like they are 8-point underdogs. Boy,
Boy, oh boy.
boy, oh boy, man. Like, we've put a lot behind Ryan Fitzpatrick so far this year. We really have. Like, we have invested emotionally, we have invested spiritually, and we have invested financially. And they don't have the same sort of edge that they had last year. Like, the value is certainly not there that was there last year. But 8 points against this 49ers team.
There we go. Say it. That's value. And
It is.
I hate being the guy that's like, oh, we got unlucky on our bets last week. But it's like, how are you going to kick 4 field goals against Russell Wilson? Like, what are we doing here? If my team is in the red zone, I'm playing Russell Wilson, I'm either going for it on 4th down to keep trying to get touchdowns, or I'm going to just give it back to him because 3 points does nothing against this guy. And it was brutal. He ripped our soul out last week, Russell Wilson, because they had that back door all lined up, Miami, and he just put a bomb down the field, went down the field, and scored another touchdown. I go, nope, I'm Russell Wilson. I'm going for MVP this year. You're not getting no backdoor on me. So this is another week where I would back Miami. I like that number. That's a big number. I know that they can be run on, and that's what the 49ers do really good. But just like what we saw with the Eagles, there's just too many replacements. Like, yeah, Kittle might kill us, and that's going to hurt. But we know what it is with Fitzmagic. He's going to have down weeks and he's going to have up weeks. So I'll take this big number and I'll back the Dolphins. But we can put them on the side and don't have to put them in right now for a competition.
We'll make a question about that. Do you feel like watching some of these games, and this was definitely true on Sunday, in the last 2 minutes of the first half, I felt like maybe 4 games had garbage points in the final 2 minutes that ultimately had an impact on the spread in a bad way for me.
Yeah, I'm honestly though that's normal. Like, especially the more you do this, it's just mathematical. The 2-minute drill, teams are tired at the end of the first half, especially these teams with the no real preseason. I saw some crazy stat. Derek Carr is like money in the 2-minute drill. He's scored on every 2-minute drill possession he's had this year. So, like we said, with the no fans, the no crowd noise with these teams, it's really been benefiting these offenses, like everyone's seen with all these overs. And it's just another one of those where these road teams, I'm starting to favor them more because it really doesn't matter with no fans. These silent counts, you can do whatever you want as an offense on the road. It's really starting to factor into a lot of these games.
Yeah. Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys favored by 9.5. Hold on.
Yeah, it's real.
Dude.
You have to do it.
Come on. That's a terrible idea.
I know.
It is a terrible idea. We need a new rule. We need a new rule that you can't bet on Danny Dimes because he's just Danny Fumbles. How many times did he fumble in this game, even though he didn't lose the fumbles? Like,
I know.
Every time red zone switched to Danny Jones, he was getting sacked and the ball was falling out of his hand and he happened to fall on top of it. Like, the problem with betting on these bad teams is we are betting on such bad quarterbacks. It is like you need to be perfect to win these games.
I know. And I hate doing it and I hate backing them here. But like we talked last week with the Cowboys, they're losers. And I know they played good teams here and like maybe that's what's catching me here. But I can't believe the public are coming in. I guess I get it because the Giants are so bad, but they're taking the Cowboys minus 9.5. It's blowing my mind here. It's like, who can this defense stop? I know I'm with you. I'm like thinking about it now. The Giants are so bad. I don't know why I love this line so much. Like I have it at 7.5. So like I'm getting a ton of value here on the Giants in a divisional game against the Cowboys, who, yeah, their offense is incredible. And maybe that's what I'm misreading here is that they're going to get scores and the Giants with terrible Daniel Jones. They'll just get stops themselves because they can't complete third down passes. So I'm with you. We can stay away. But but I cannot bet the Cowboys minus 9.5.
You're gonna bet this game regardless.
Yeah, like I'm gonna take the Giants money line. That's how much I don't believe in this Cowboys team right now. Because
Wow.
I think something's wrong with them. And in a normal year, if they had a packed house, this is a great spot for the Cowboys. This is that they should kill the Giants here. But I'm gonna trust that with the sparse fans down in Dallas, and the Giants been playing. They played better on the road than they do at home. They've covered twice this year, and both times it's been on the road. I'm gonna ride that trend. I'm gonna take the Giants here.
You were going to take the Giants, who are scoring about 3.5 points a game, with a quarterback who can't convert a third down unless he's lucky enough to fumble the ball forward. And you've got them going on the road, even in a 17,000 person, fan capacity, against a quarterback who has thrown for more yards in the first 4 games than any quarterback in NFL history, who is against a team that is desperate for a win. Desperate. And this Giants team is terrible defensively. And you're telling me you will bet the money line on this game. What is the money line on this game right now?
I don't have it up. So it's 9.5. So I'm guessing it's like 320. That's off the top of my head. But I don't want to get people wrong here. There's other money. I every week I do money line parlays, and we talked about I really like the Browns and the Eagles last week. So I put their money lines together. So you can you get insane odds on these big money lines. So I'll put $1,000. It's to win 10 grand. And then I'll just wait live watching the game of the 49ers and Eagles. And you just hedge live. So say the Eagles, I forget what point it was, but they got up. I think it was a touchdown. That's when I just take the 49ers at 7.5 or 8 plus 8 as a dog and try to hit the middle. So with this week, we haven't got to the games yet. Like the Vikings money line with the Chargers money line. Those are kind of things I'll stack those. You in your wildest dreams go, there's no way the Chargers will beat the Saints, and there's no way the Vikings, who just got their first win, are going to beat the unbeatable Russell Wilson. But these are just games where the lines have gotten so high because these teams are so undervalued that if I just hit these kind of money line parlays just 3 times in a season, I've doubled that original bankroll or tripled it. So I don't want to steer people wrong here. I would not recommend to anybody listening here to take the Giants money line. But this is one of those where I think I'm getting an extra 2.5 numbers of value, and that goes into the money line. So I'm going to take that just because I think there's value on it.
All right. By the way, the number on the money line right now is plus 350. Giants plus 350. All right. The Broncos Patriots game is not posted right now, so I cannot talk about that game. I apologize. I got a couple of tweets from people saying, hey, you got to talk about all the games. This one I can't. There's no number up right now unless you're seeing something, but I'm not seeing a number.
Yeah. And if I get it, if people want us to talk about these games, but what can we really do without knowing who's playing without lines up? So I'm with them on that. On Twitter, you can reach out to either of us and we'll give you our opinions later in the week on it, obviously. But for right now, my only advice would be everyone's going to take the under, so I'll take the over. And I have nothing else about that game. So it's going to be ugly. Both teams are banged up and hurt. Whatever it opens at, and say it's Hoyer or Stedham at QB, I'll probably end up on the Patriots after a bad loss, them to bounce back. But I can't honestly tell you what to do with this game.
All right, I got to give everybody a reminder. Go rate and review the podcast. Subscribe to the podcast. Use the phrase that pays. Simon says, I'm sorry. And if we choose that very creative review, then you will win next week a Free Action Network hoodie. And we will announce the winner of this week's Free Action Network hoodie at the end of the show. Getting to the end of the slate here from the last 425 games, game. We've got the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Cleveland Browns. Colts are 3-point favorites on the road. Woo-wee. Wow. 77% of the money so far coming in on the Colts, but 53% of the bets. So right now, when you've got money on one side, reminder, money on one side, bets on the other side, that tends to mean pros on the one side, which in this case is the Colts, Joe's on the Browns. Simon?
Yeah. And I get what they're seeing here. The pros are coming in because the Colts have been good to them. They're a well-coached team, solid on both sides of the ball, and Philip Rivers has kept it together. And we're going against the Cleveland team now who's, I mean, that must be their first back-to-back double-digit wins in a long time. And I know the Cowboys came back there and kind of made it a game. And I don't know if I'm just reading this wrong or if I'm overthinking it, but I'm just waiting for the floor to fall out on this Colts team. It's Rivers plays with fire. Every time he throws the ball, his arm looks like a noodle arm, and other times he puts it right on the dime on a guy up the sideline. And I'm going to back the Browns here. I'm not going to be happy about it. And I know that I'm going to kick myself for it, but I'm going to trust that the Browns can play well at home. The Colts, after back-to-back road games, are going to lay an egg here.
Well, look, this is a strength versus strength, right? I mean, even without Nick Chubb, the Browns have a really great rushing offense.
Best in football.
Best in football, statistically. They're executing at an incredibly high level.
Yeah.
And the Colts, meanwhile, they've got the best rushing defense. And not just that, but like the best scoring defense. So a Browns team that has scored 30 points 3 straight weeks, first time in 50 years the Cleveland Browns have done that, going against a very, very strong scoring defense and a very strong rushing defense. I get why the professionals are back in the Colts here, which is why it makes me incredibly nervous that you like the Browns.
Yeah, and I can see that too because historically the good run defense will stop the good run offense.
Yeah.
I'm with you. We can stay away. But yeah, I do. I just like the Browns here because I'm banking on their offense being able to outproduce the Colts. But with all the injuries to the Browns secondary, I guess you're right. I guess we can just put this on the side.
All right, Philly, right there. You sounded like you were directly from the center of Philadelphia, the Browns offense. All right. Seahawks -7 at home against the Vikings, desperate for a win, looking like crap. Their defense, talk about banged up. This is going to be a stay away for me. You're going to have to convince me on this one because it's either, for me, it's either the Seahawks or to stay away because this Vikings defense is in tatters.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And like what I like about this game is just the fact that Seattle is undefeated. They're undefeated against the spread too. So I'm just playing the numbers that they're due for a letdown. Thought we were gonna get it last week. All the things were there for it to be a letdown, but the Dolphins didn't capitalize. So yeah, we can stay away, but I'll play Minnesota plus 7.5.
Well, I mean, when you say that, it's like, why would I not want to be doing what you're doing with my money? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because like I told you in the podcast, I overthink our 5 picks like you wouldn't believe it. Like I'm up Saturday night late. I should be thinking about my clients and my own bets, but I'm like, man, are these 5? Are we this really the 5 we're going with? So I'm with you, man. This is like there's other games that are like you put your nuts on the table, your big balls. Like we don't have to do Minnesota to that's what I mean. That's why like last week I was second guessing the Dolphins one because it's just I hate going against Russ and like I hate being in the spot again where I'm trying to do it for us again. So I'm with you. Let's just stay away. I don't want to put Minnesota.
You know what we need? Matt Mitchell, our producer, he is going to have to create a big balls bet of the week. A game where we are just putting our nuts on the table. I think it's going to be the Giants. I think in the spirit of the big balls bet of the week, we might have to make it the Giants. I might even put a little taste on the money line on the Giants.
That are the Eagles. Because the Eagles is even more insane. Because like everyone loves Pittsburgh right now, and everyone's just like the Eagles are banged up and they're trash. So that might be the biggest one.
All right. Meanwhile, the Saints apparently only play in prime time because they're back on Monday night. They're 7.5-point favorites against the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert. I don't have a read on this game. It's a weird number for me, kind of not indicating anything. I don't see any value. Convince me otherwise.
Yeah, and I hate backing rookies in primetime games, especially where it's back-to-back road games for the Chargers. But I still, even last week with Drew Brees, I still am not seeing what I need to see from him. He still doesn't look right. So we'll wait and we'll see what the injury report is before you even think about putting this one in. But if Michael Thomas is out again and the Chargers are full go, because right now the Chargers, they might be down I want to say it's 3 offensive linemen. I want to wait and see what the deal is with their O-line, but I would take the 7.5 for the Chargers, but I'm not going to put this one in the competition yet.
All right, so that's the slate right now. And don't forget, go rate and review the podcast. We're going to come back in a second. I am going to announce the winner of last week's Phrase That Pays. This week's Phrase That Pays to win a free Action Network hoodie. Simon says, I'm sorry for, and he's apologizing to me, which is gracious of him, considering he's giving us his time and his advice and his wisdom, for not putting the Browns in our final 5. And so right now in our final 5, we have our first Thursday night pick of the week, the Bears plus 5.5.
Woo.
We are considering, we have 2 bet your balls picks of the week right now. The Eagles plus 7 against the Steelers. The Giants plus 9.5. We might want to go money line against the Cowboys. So Bears, Eagles, Giants. 2 other games we're considering. Rams minus 8 against the Washington football team. Miami plus 8 against the 49ers right now. Ravens is huge favorites against the Bengals. I might love this game. I might fall in love with it.